to begin talking about fractions. Fractions are a new type of number that allows us to be more specific when we do math and think about the world using math. All year we've been using whole numbers. Whole numbers are numbers that we use to count. They include 1, 2, 3, 4, a million, a billion, 127,567, anything you could count to using ones, fives, or any other whole number. The problem is if we only have whole numbers, we cannot talk about pieces and parts of things, which often we need to do, such as during division when we break things into pieces and parts. Fractions let us talk about parts of whole numbers. They can also be used to express whole numbers. So think about a sandwich. If you saw this sandwich, you would call it one sandwich. You might also call it delicious, but the whole number you use to talk about it is one whole sandwich. The numerator is the number that tells us how many sandwiches we are describing. There is one whole sandwich, so the numerator, the number of sandwiches we are talking about, will be 1. The denominator is the number of pieces of sandwich the sandwich is in, which we will be talking about further. So, there's only one sandwich, so our numerator is 1. We still don't know our denominator. The denominator tells us how many equal pieces our single sandwich is in. What is the denominator for our sandwich? It is in one piece, so our denominator is 1. Remember, our numerator was 1 as well. How do you express a fraction? Well, the numerator, the number of things we are talking about, our one sandwich, goes at the top. Our denominator, how many pieces, equal pieces, it is in, goes at the bottom. So here we have 1 over 1. And what this is basically indicating is that 1 divided by 1 tells us what number of sandwiches we have. So fractions are a lot like division problems. Well, what is 1 divided by 1? It's just 1. We have one whole sandwich, so you wouldn't need to use a fraction to describe this sandwich. When would we need to use fractions to describe the thing? What if our sandwich was in 2 pieces? What fraction could we use to talk about each piece of our sandwich? Well, to do that, we need to remember what does the numerator tell us and what does the denominator tell us. Well, here we have 2 pieces of our one whole sandwich. What do we call one piece? Well, originally there was one whole sandwich. So our numerator, the number of sandwiches we are talking about, will be 1. Our denominator, how many equal pieces it is broken into, is 2. This is one of 2 pieces of our sandwich. So our denominator will be 2. Another way to say how many pieces of sandwiches is 1/2 of a sandwich. What fraction would you use to talk about the other piece of sandwich that came from one whole sandwich and was broken into 2 equal parts? If you thought 1 for the numerator, that was correct, and 2 equal pieces for the denominator, that was correct as well. So this other piece of sandwich would also be 1/2. This is one box. If I break it into 2 equal pieces, what will the fractions be that you use to describe each piece? 1/2 for the one box it came from and the 2 pieces it is in, and 1/2 for the other as well. When we break it into 2 equal pieces, it becomes 2 1/2s of a box. If you break up our box more times, which number will change the numerator or the denominator? What fraction could you use to describe one section of the box when we break it up into 4 equal pieces?